What's going on YouTube? Hayden Schreier making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as Icon to BTC. In today's video, we're going to be looking as well as the current coin market cap, and we're going to be looking at why Litecoin is continuing to retrace to lower levels. I know I was definitely very bearish the past couple of days, if not weeks, and we're finally starting to see that retracement that we were looking for outside of the consolidation that we've seen for days on days. Now we're starting to see some pullback, and I know a lot of people are worried, so I do want to answer a couple of those questions in today's video. But besides that, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump right into today's video. So as you guys can see, we are on the current coin market cap, and you'll notice a couple of things have been changing. So not only do we have 24-hour volume dropping, Bitcoin dominance is slowly increasing, and we see market cap slowly decreasing. When I scroll down to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, you'll see that all of them are in red. Everything is down. Everything is retracing. Litecoin is at $101, down 3.7%. And I'd say the market is down on average 3% if we look at the top 10 cryptos. But the market is in some sort of consolidation period. You'll notice right now that we are seeing a small dip off the bottom and followed by movement to the upside, that ripple effect that we were talking about, and now we're starting to see us consolidate down more. So I'm going to give potential price predictions as to how low I think maybe cryptocurrency could fall in today's video, as well as where we could see the coin in the next couple of days before we start to head back up. So I'm on Litecoin's chart right now, and I think this is going to be a fairly easy one to graph, and I want you guys to follow along with me. Obviously, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down in the comment section below. But you'll notice that Litecoin finally did something a little bit different than what we were normally expecting. So we were in some sort of ascending triangle formation that was setting us to higher levels, or setting us up for a potential break to the upside. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that we are out of the clear yet. There's two options that we can see. Either we are going to see movement back into our ascending triangle, followed by completing it and then seeing a major break, or as of right now, this could be the major break that we were looking for towards the end of the ascending triangle. This could have been, the break to the downside, and now we could fall much lower. Now, I do have a couple of videos questions and comments to make on Litecoin's price right now. So a lot of you guys were curious as to why we were breaking down and where we could fall to. That was the question. And looking at this chart, the fact that we've been above our high-low middle moving average for so long indicates that a pullback was necessary. A pullback down to this level was necessary. We were looking for movement to our high-low middle moving average, which we're finally seeing today. And you'll notice that we are retesting the green band, and then we're potentially pulling lower to the red band. You'll notice that we are seeing consolidation lower, testing the bottom red band right here, and we may start to see that become apparent as we test here, right here. We could then see a swing to the upside, and the reason why I do think we could see this pull is because of how low we are now on the relative strength index. So before we were nearing overbought, we finally saw a reversal onto this coin, which we're now seeing us bottom out. We're looking to trade quite low on the RSI. I do want to jump over to the weekly in a second, but the fact that we're trading so low, if indeed we do fall, another, I'd say $6 or $4, we could pull right back down our red band, indicating that we're pretty much oversold, which is a great opportunity to not only be purchasing, but also to see this retracement back up into the yellow channel that we have right here. So this is truly what I'm looking for. I'm definitely anticipating some sort of break to the upside off of that. I really don't think this coin has the potential right now to go lower on the daily. I do want to check out the weekly and see how we're sitting there. So it is nice to see that there is some sort of consolidation. This does hold true with what I was saying, with a lot of people in disagreement that when we were overbought, it is for the long term more of a problematic zone, and you can see how beautifully that pretty much was captured here on the weekly charts. You'll notice that we were in a very bullish stance for a couple of months, honestly, within Litecoin before we started to finally see some consolidation back down. Now, the great indicator with this is the fact that we were overbought, and in a weekly overbought, it's expected to be in a short or a long-term, retracement. It's expected to see consolidation back downwards if we are overbought, and that is exactly where we were. And now we're seeing this consolidation back down. So the fact that we're currently at 57 on the RSI on the weekly does give me some good faith that we could see this being the bottom and we could potentially move up. Now, if you wanted to be crazy and assume where could the rock bottom price be, if you wanted to start to dollar cost average, it'd be to start off at $100 and then, slowly, lower your break even point all the way down to the green band right here, which is trading at $70. So Litecoin does have potential to fall. If it does, it's going to bring us down to the $70 RSI, high-low middle moving average, and that's going to be the rock bottom. So if you wanted to start dollar cost averaging now, you'd be purchasing now at around $100 and then buying intervals at 80, at 90, at 80, and then back down at 70. Those three intervals, 90, 80, 70. And that's pretty much the lowest I can predict that Litecoin is going to travel on its way down. Do I think it's going to go further? I'd say no. I think, we're so new to this market, and I think the fact that we are seeing the halving coming up just around the corner, I think there's so much more potential for Litecoin to do. The fact that we've, pretty much had all-time highs at around $400, the fact that we're a quarter of that right now, we have plenty of room to head up back to those levels. I think it's just a matter of time. 2019 has proven that crypto is not dead. It's proven that there's plenty of room to move up higher. Honestly, it totally depends on your investing strategy. If you're ones that are really into, short-term gains and you really want to make high-risk trades, then maybe short-term is for you, and then it is, watching these charts every single day, making sure you know what's up. If you're one who just enjoys listening to the news and wanting to know a little bit more about what's going on, but wants to hold long-term, that is definitely a better strategy. If you have a lot going on and you don't have all this time to be dedicating towards graphing cryptocurrency, then maybe it is something to, think about. Buy on long-term, it really doesn't matter at that point where you're buying in. Obviously, it's preferred if you're going to do a long-term trade to buy in when we're oversold. It only makes sense, and the fact that we're nearing this on Litecoin's, daily is a great indicator that this could potentially be the bottom. $100 is a pretty big support all in all for Litecoin, so this may be the bottom essentially for Litecoin before we see any sort of consolidation back up. Volume is slowly dying off, which could indicate that this may be the end, and then we could swing back upwards into this ascending triangle. But we definitely look good. I don't think this was unreasonable. We've seen us go from $28 all the way to $140. So to see ever so slightly some short-term retracement, which we've seen in the past, now we're seeing it again, isn't, the end of the world. We've seen us go from $94 all the way down to $65 before retracing all the way up to $140. It's safe to say that we could see the same thing, a 140 down to 100 and then all the way up to 200. So it's just some options that I'm having. I don't see any red flags merely on the charts right now. I do still think that we're in a pretty big bullish move in a bullish market. You'll notice now on Bitcoin's charts that Bitcoin also looks a-okay. We are in an uptrend right now, which is holding true. We did not break bearish from that as Litecoin did, but you'll notice this uptrend kind of marks that we're at the bottom here before we can see potentially some consolidation upwards, being right at around 50 on the RSI. Once again, indication that we are probably at the bottom end of, the charts, and we should start to see, and the price, and we should start to see some consolidation back to the upside. Same thing goes with Ethereum, starting to catch some, a wave right here. You can see where I've drawn some sort of ascending gap that we have on the markets. You can see that we're starting to follow this quite nicely, and we may actually now enter some sort of, channel right here where we could see the prices play off like this. Something along the lines of this as we consolidate up into, the future. That's pretty much what I'm looking at in terms of Ethereum. I do think that's the bottom as well for Ethereum. I'd be very shocked if we pulled lower. If we did indeed pull lower, I know we're on 50 on the RSI. It does give us, room to move down lower. But the fact that we are at the bottom here gives me some reason to believe that we're not going to pull lower. Because if we did, that would send Litecoin into extremely oversold territory, which again is great opportunities to be purchasing before it swings to the upside. Now, lastly, to wrap up today's episode, I do want to look at Icon, which once again, I believe today is Saturday, so tomorrow we'll be wrapping up our Icon video, and then we'll choose a new altcoin for review. So if you have one in mind, definitely make sure to comment that down below. But to wrap things up, we're looking at Icon right now. And the fact that Icon is pretty much consolidating through this market does give me reason to believe that this is pretty much, not being affected by the rest of the market. The fact that we're seeing no volatility, we did see volume on the way down from that little spike, but the fact that we're now seeing no movement whatsoever as we trade out sideways while the rest of the market is being affected negatively does give me, some sense to believe that Icon is completely unrelated from what the top, the bigger cryptocurrencies are doing, and we're merely just looking for the rest of this consolidation sideways. But otherwise, that's going to sum up today's episode, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.